And this is moving forward in a, like I said, there is no stopping of this evolution. It is happening because there is way too much that depends on humanity. And so we have to know what our potential is so we can implement that correction. So this is why we're here. This is why I'm here talking about this, what I can talk with, taking it to as many next levels we can. For as long as we bring this into focus for human beings, we have to focus on the potential for the evolution of human consciousness.
Right. And essentially, it's going to put us in the position to create the new mythos. Taking things from the past can be tricky because of all of the manipulation that has been done by the Dark Ones. But if you have the spiritual, I'll say, discernment to be able to decipher and decode and to decrypt, you can pull out a lot that even they themselves cannot from these things because, well, for one, they're not willing to go through the biospiritual regenesis. They're not willing to actually know thyself, getting into the system mechanics and gnosis, and getting into gnosis real quick. What is gnosis again? Know thyself, right? This though has many different layers to it, many different expressions. And I'm not into the whole like super soldier bullshit. This is his. This person's altar and blah blah blah. No, it's all that fucking person. They're just fragmented. They become disassociated with the true core essence of who they are.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? You're not off in some other fucking goddamn dimension. You're in your head going through this experience. It's happening right here on ground level. It's happening here in the third dimension. What we do here matters. Okay? Because, and this is another occult secret, physical reality holds precedence over all other realms. If it didn't, then do you think what's happening on the planet would be happening? No, it wouldn't, because and because we live in a death culture with the fear of death, the fear of loss, the fear of not surviving, the fear of non-existence, sexual energy on the inverted principle, which essentially is the creation of the Ouroboros, devouring the ultimate good. That you have to strike the neck of it. And this is the secret with Ragnarok. Again, it all goes back to what I was saying. All is within you. So each and every single fucking person is going to go through an inner Ragnarok. This is how it works. It's not like some thing happening out there. It potentially could be, though, again, like it has been in the past, again and again and again and again, if we don't catch it. But that's the thing right now. We are catching it. We are, as far as I'm concerned, further along than we ever have been. So we need to recognize how far we have actually come. We still have to face Fenrir. We still have to face, Soot. And again, these are archetypes, with the traditions of my ancestors that make sense to me and my specific blood codes. It's like when I hear about these different mythical creatures and all this stuff going on, it's like I can extract from it the truth of what it actually means. And that was the secret. That was the secret about the myths. They were not, the understanding and understanding and overstanding of what was spoken about was not given to those that were not self-actualized initiates. They didn't have that soul spark ignited in them like it has with you, like it has with me, like it has with other people. So it's not to say we just throw everything out. Yeah, throw out all the bullshit, but remember that you are where you are because of things that you got into before. You know what I'm saying? What was the truth of that? Okay, bring it to where you are present, and then okay, what are we going to write? What is the next step that needs to be taken? Because again, I can go on and on and on about all the fucking shit that has happened to me, but I never really wanted to make that the focus of Black Earth Productions, even though I've done a lot, to expose the darkness. But my focus and my intention of everything has always been creator source. and getting back to making that connection again. You know what I'm saying? Because that is what people need, man. If you don't make that connection, I'll say, within yourself, you're going to be back again on another timeline in another reality field within the Ouroboros that just keep playing themselves out again and again and again and again like a broken fucking record. You know what I'm saying? But that spiral is getting tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter, coming on to the trajectory of the original timeline that we are meant to be on. And so I don't know if any of this resonates with you, but all of it is going to fly out. All of these belief systems, all of this cognitive dissonance, all of this inner turmoil and pain and anguish and weeping and all of it, it's all a part of the process. And that's what people don't understand. No, they're running down the street going to the pharmaceutical company. You know, give me the strongest shit you got. Give me some fentanyl. Give me some Oxycontin so that I don't have to feel this pain that's trying to wake me the fuck up. And what I've discovered with it is that pain is one of the greatest teachers that anyone could ever embrace and make ritual with, because it is there to liberate you. It's just a question of whether or not you're willing to go through it and see that what the shadow is screaming through the hall of mirrors is it's there to remind you of everything that you're not, but at the same time trying to convince you that it is you. And then there lies the danger, because there is a danger that people need to be aware of, coming into this, and not everybody comes out. At the highest level with what I teach and practice, it can literally kill somebody if they're not ready for it.
Yeah. And it has some people, right?
What's that?
And it has in some cases. So this is not anything light. Yeah. This is like you said, one of the most important things you'll ever do for your soul.
Mm-hmm. And people need to go apace with it and take the time to study and research, specifically getting into the blue flame healing arts and occult science. I start out at a ground level with the mind, with the radar and the chakra system. Because that's what the true mind is. The true mind is the chakra system. Okay, because you have energy bands coming down from your radar, which is with thought and emotion. This is why they do the frequency, wars and stuff that's going on to get our radar offset onto another frequency of consciousness, rather than being in alignment with the true core essence of who we are. But if you pull your radar down into the true core essence, then you'll be able to hear, and you'll be able to navigate, and you'll be able to see these things, pretty clear as far as I'm concerned. But to know the difference, especially getting into this material, it literally is going to take people years. Like, if people want a week-long course from me, and you think that you're going to fucking wake up in a month, like, it ain't going to happen. You're going to go through a very brutal healing process. It's going to take you into everything, but also give you the skill set and protocol and tools to be able to navigate, to get to the point where you can start integrating higher consciousness that's beyond all of this, because that's what needs to happen. Otherwise, you're going to be on that feedback loop and just getting devoured anytime something comes up, anytime you get triggered out by something, or anytime you trigger something out in somebody else, and then it's just like fucking on. There's no wisdom in that. Yeah. There's no wisdom in that. There's no understanding of what's actually taking place. Everyone's just, they think they fucking know, but they don't, Lily. And it's like, I have to be personally, just where I'm at, I have to be very patient, because I lost my patience last time. Last time I was like, fuck all you, I am fucking out of here. This is bullshit. But I can't do that. I can't, because of how important, everything that's unfolding right now is, and it's literally creating that round table again, like Arthur and his knights, who are actually in protection of the planetary Templar, by the way. Getting into Excalibur, getting into, Thor's hammer, getting into the Ankh. What is that? It's the spindle of the energy force itself. And if you do not know how to wield it correctly, then you're going to be creating a bunch of fucked up shit in your life. Because your intention with your energy and focus is not in alignment, and people wonder why the world is the way that it is. It's because you have created it to be that way. It's what you did. And I'm not saying you, Lily, but individuals listening to this right now. It's what you did. It's what you brought upon yourself. And so when you own up to that, then the higher force can present itself with the individual and then take you to the next level. But not until then, because the dark ones, this is another thing. The dark ones love it when you scapegoat them. Because as long as you point the finger and you blame them for the ultimate evil, that is giving them even more incentive to continue doing what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? When people need to recognize how they have been the ones perpetuating it through willful ignorance, apathy, through justification, denial of denial, and then finally, like I'm talking about, blame. You just want to pass the buck off, right? Mm-hmm. And here's the other thing. The dark ones are letting you know what they're doing. They're letting you know what they're doing through the media, through the movies, through the music, everything. And they have to let you know. They have to let you know because they know that's a part of the law. And we have to let them know what we're doing too. That's why we're doing broadcasts like this, so that these motherfuckers know what the fuck we're doing. So they can't say, oh, well, no, we didn't hear that the opportunity was presented to all factions, races, and you know, that are in the universe, even the dark ones right now. It wasn't my decision among the councils. I said, fuck that. But they said, no, this needs to happen.
And I think you're pointing out to a very, very interesting key here of how we can take this personal sort of stand and the return of the warrior to the next level, is that this sword is sort of sharp at both ends, because once you accept the responsibility of this, then you also accept the responsibility of what you actually, while aware of something, then what are you doing about it?
Right.
All right. So a lot of people been talking about and saying, well, we want transparency with our government. We want transparency with the elite. We want transparency. That transparency is showing up, but the transparency is showing up within those people that asking for transparency. Right. Their own darkness and things that they are not willing to deal with will be right there in front of their faces. And this is one of the cartoonish things that I have seen, the most immature spiritual reaction of people have today is pointing finger at that, this or that, that they're being attacked by this or that or that.
Right.
And this is what you talked about earlier. A lot of these things, and even people that are waking up to the deeper level of this control system are still not recognizing that even though they've came up maybe to the last level of this control system, they're still gonna hit the glass ceiling with it.
Yep.
And that's, I think, the key today that people don't get. They think that somehow those people that push through will come together and put together a story for them, how it is to go through this, through all levels and through all layers, facing every layer and every level and standing in truth at every layer and every level. That part can only be done on the individual level. But like I was saying, once you recognize the power of yourself that you own, and then once you reclaim what is that, what we are talking about right now, right?
Yes.
Seth?
Yes.
We're talking about reclaiming our true self, reclaiming our being, reclaiming ourselves under the universal law, pretty much. We're standing there and saying this is what, once you reclaim that, right? then can I claiming that I'm responsible for my creation because I'm a sovereign creator being. Right. Can I then stand here and say, hey, Sethikus, you know, I have all this bunch of people and that person is this and that person's AI and that person is channeling something that I don't agree with or anything. That just doesn't make any sense for people that are claiming to be awake and aware, because once you're aware and you're self-aware, right? Once you take that responsibility and once this path is real for you, then blaming the illusionary power for your own disempowerment doesn't make any sense. Because the illusionary power could never give you true power to begin with. Only the path within and all of the work that you do and all the rubble that you gotta go through with your own self. That's what gives you the power. And then it in turn is your power, really, because you will feel it in your bones. Like we talk about the lifeblood.
Yeah.
You feel the truth in your blood because it is in your blood. And we can go from it. I like to connect spirituality and science. I'm all about that. In fact, that's one of my more interesting side effects to this.
What do you think the true essence of magic is?
It's
it's the combination of spirit and science, metaphysics, magic. These are just terms and semantics that people get caught up in. They don't realize that they're talking about the same things sometimes. You know what I'm saying? But this all goes back to a limited, perception, because people don't know the occult. They don't understand that metaphysics is the union of spirit with matter, which is, the co-creative power of creator source itself. You're talking about raw consciousness. You're talking about raw power that is infallible. And once you make connection with that and reach a certain level, you cannot be fucked with. And the dark ones have to respect you.
Yes.
They sure as fuck respect me, Lily. And they know that they can't fuck with me. After all this bullshit that happened, especially this last year, getting into what happened with Max. I have been up against some of the darkest factions that people can imagine. They know who I am. Okay? But what's even greater than all of that is that I know who the fuck I am. I have remembered who I am. I know what I'm keyed into. I know what grid works I can access, what ones to stay the fuck away from. It's a lot to get into. And like I said, the material and the things that we're sharing with our students, it's going to take years, for certain individuals. So it's
a process, and the thing is, I think what we're doing here is we're trying to inspire. This is what I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
And the stuff that we say, we've been through a lot of stuff. We've been through a lot of shit. Because when you reclaim your power of who you truly are, it is something, once you reclaim it yourself, it is something because you reclaim it and you know that is yours to own. There is no one else that can claim your power.
Right.
And I don't know how to express this to those that haven't experienced it personally. And this is what I'm saying, by taking this self-transformation path or self-initiating yourself into your own path to knowing the self. Taking that, if anything, you experience the power that is you. And for that, for another human being to not have words to express how that experience may feel,
right?
That in itself should be inspiring to other people, to taste your own power, to be your own magician, to know what true magic is. Isn't that the most immense power that any human being can have? It is. And it's almost like we're here trying to tell people, you know, a cult is what you need to self-initiate, and it's not anything to be afraid of, because I know there is still a lot of fear.
There's a lot of stigma when it comes to it. But a cult, again, simply just means hidden. You know, it's the hidden proper knowledge and wisdom that's been kept from us. And the thing, though, with my inner circle, the interesting, very, very interesting thing about everything that's unfolding is they cannot access what we have accessed. And the reason why they can't is because they haven't been through the biospiritual regenesis like we have been, and are continuing to go through. I'm still going through it. I'm still going through healing. I'm still going through getting triggered out and dealing with stuff. And like every day I have the opportunity to fall into old patterns, belief systems, and all of that. But I'm getting stronger. I'm getting sharper. It's like, you know, the sword that's being, you know, put through the fire and, you know, and being tempered, and then you get, you know, bent over, and then you get hammered down again. And it's like, you have to be willing to embrace that process if you want to become a sword, if you want to become that sword of truth, so to speak. The double-edged sword, like you were talking about, right? Mm-hmm. Because we will be held accountable by the higher force. I'm held accountable by the higher force. Yeah, I have free will. I can do whatever the fuck I please, but not without consequence. And I know the laws, and I've studied, and I've researched it. I've had mentors. I have mentors still. I have people that that are holding me accountable, and also other people that I'm holding accountable as well. That's the one fucking problem in this network and community, is that no one is holding anyone accountable to truth itself, and allowing truth to be the master, instead of, you know, being the next, you know, big person coming out and, you know, with all the information and whatever. That's all fucking bullshit, man. That's all, you know, high school games.
Games, yeah.
Right. And because in order to truly embrace the teaching that is being presented in trajectory from all this, it's going to take a level of coming into spiritual maturity. You know, you're not going to give sacred knowledge to someone that's going to trample it under their feet and then turn and tear you to pieces, man. Like what it says, do not cast pearls before swine.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
You're not going to give what is sacred to someone that's just gonna, you know, whatever. So it is highly protected what we do. At the same time, though, the opportunity does need to be presented, because there are people that are hungry for this, Lily, and this is why we're doing this, man. Because like I said, well, sorry, not like I said, but like you said, people are beginning to see the value, you know, in it. And then, of course, you know, go through that journey of remembering who they are. I mean, who wouldn't want to know that? Because people hold that question and say they don't even know who they are. They wake up every day and they go to some shitty ass job they can't fucking stand. And they're like, who am I? Is this who I am? Is this it? Or you got to be kidding me? And I can see it on all of their faces when I'm out there in the fray. And I can feel that energy. I don't know what your disposition is, but my moon is in Scorpio. So I can feel literally everything going on.
Me too. Oh.
And it's like fuck, man. I'd rather just, you know, be on the hill in my shaman, you know, cave, and you know, if anyone wants to come talk to me, yeah, it's cool. But I'm not going to run out there and cast pearls to swine.
Yes.
I refuse to do that anymore. So when you contacted me, I was like, okay, shit's about to go to the next level, because you've been doing what you've been doing. I've been doing, you know, but it's all, you know, coming together, even with other people. And this is a worldwide network. We are a worldwide network now.
Yes, which is, for me, it's a great sign that I've been expecting. it's coming to fruition right now. So I'm actually very excited. I know it is probably going to be one of the most difficult things that we're going to attempt to do. But I think it's well worth it, and the excitement and the power I feel of this excitement for humanity, you know, that, like you said, you look out there, there's so many people that are lost. They have this, like what I call a little fluoride stare, you know, they're just kind of there, but they're not there, but they're nowhere else. They're not even, you look people in the eyes and you don't find them being there, but you don't even know where they are at. They're so lost. And so, but at the same time, you know, we talked a little bit before we started recording how we always have this information that is like ahead of time. I know, like my videos from 2 years ago didn't make much of a sense, even to me. And those videos now 2 years later make so much more sense to me, but I don't fully still mentally comprehend here with this body consciousness layer, let's just say, comprehend the physics of it, because it's not a regular, you know, earthly physics that what I was seeing. Those were different fields, and so there's different laws that apply to it and all of that stuff.
Right. And that's getting into the system mechanics of gnosis, getting into the biospiritual regenesis, and the biospiritual regenesis is regenesis on every level, on a physical level, multidimensional level, bringing everything back into alignment with the true core essence of who we are, being able to access the consciousness of what we term the Maldekian flames. Okay. Now, Maldek is the asteroid belt. Think about that for a second. On the inverted tree of death, which is the fucking Kabbalah. And I am going to say this as well. Anybody out there practicing Kabbalah is deceived. Okay? And me and my friend, Lord Osseron, have proven that. But these are things that I knew even before everything that's presented. So I mean, I knew this years ago because I practiced it. I got into it. I really studied it because it's like, man, I got to remember all this. You know, this is who the fuck I am. You know what I'm saying? But look at where everything's going now. When it comes to magic and the occult and gnosis and the universe and the planets and the stars and raw consciousness and power and the evil and everything, it's all happening within us.
Yeah.
And there's an idea out there that's like, you know, good and evil is some kind of, you know, polarity, and we need a balance, good and evil, for there to be balance in the universe. It's bullshit. Evil needs to be eradicated. Period. The knowing of it needs to be held, you know, in the records of the wisdom councils, so that the younger generations can know. Because the torch of eldership is being passed to us by the higher force. It's a question of whether or not, okay, are we going to take this up? Are we going to take on the mantle of responsibility and really be who the fuck we are meant to be? Because I can't run from it. I couldn't run from it even if I wanted to now. And there's a it's interesting. This term called shaman sickness. But people experience, you know, ailments and sickness and all sorts of like mental, you know, problems, you know, with their thought life and emotions, because they are resisting who they really are. They are even in fear of who they really are. And it's like Carl Jung said, a man will do anything, no matter how absurd, to stop from facing his own soul, to stop from that integration from taking place. Because the false ego and the shadow have been in control of mankind for so long on a collective unconscious level. Anytime someone that does wake up and we rise up and remember who we are, we're you know, deemed you know, as insane, you know, and you're going to get the mob come at you. You're going to get, you know, crucified, or you're going to get, you know, raked through the streets like we used to. But the thing is now is that shit that happened to our kind back in the day, the dark ones no longer have jurisdiction here. in 2017. Their jurisdiction is over, Lily. I literally mean that. They no longer hold jurisdiction.
That's kind of the next thing that we can, we probably maybe need to do another talk again and get into that, because this is the thing. I had a huge change and I felt a huge shift last year. That I don't know about you, but last year, especially August, September of last year, I felt this huge shift in that. That's when I kind of, you know, in my own way, as a humanity, stepping into the sort of, or getting that driver's seat. That was the time for me where I knew, and that's when I had like no doubt that was like, boom, now this is unstoppable. Humanity has taken the wheel of this reality. And so, and from that time on, I knew that things will just, let's just say, get really interesting right now. Right. Because everything has changed. And like you say, they don't have any more jurisdiction. And that is for those that are psychically in tune, they feel it very strongly. And I know that, and what you're saying, I know that to be true. It confirms my feeling, and it confirms many other people's feelings that I've been also in contact with. So I totally agree with you on that. And where are we going to take that, and the transformation and the whole cleaning up of that level, and how all that gonna go. There's just so much still to discuss, and
yeah, it's still gonna take a while.
Solutions that will be for the better of all humanity, and it will be for the better of all living life. You know, that's the intent, right? With anything we do here. Absolutely. And so, like you said, there's a lot of transformation, and sort of the purging process is happening. It's been happening for the last couple of years. Even in our community, then we communicate with, and our listeners that are part of this alternative spiritual communities, that are our supporters and cheerleaders out there. And thank you, everybody. Right. I'm going to use this chance to say thank you for listening to these videos, because we appreciate, like Sethikus, you said, you know, when one individual gets this path and go within, and that only means that we have another warrior awaken, and we are only happy and joyful to do that for you. So if anybody feels like these videos are helpful, we're grateful that you guys are listening, because there's goes a lot of energy for me to put this into words, because what we are experiencing is incredible, and what we're going through is incredible. We're creating this correction timeline, like I said, and what we do right now, like you said, it's going to require a lot of spiritual maturity to move forward. It will require a lot of patience, but it will also require a lot of inner strength, because what our enemy is of a spiritual nature. It is not in physical form. Our enemy is in spirit. It's psychic in its nature. So we need right now to strengthen. That's who we are. We need to anchor our psychic field in the true essence of us, and be always connected to that power, or that pure intent, or how Inoya, the word for it, comes to mind. That's part of the lifeblood, is that power of pure hyper intelligence. That's once you anchor in, that's your psychic field then. And so standing empowered in your own living psychic field, then you're protected. And this is when a lot of people talk about being protected against this or that. Your protection is your power of your stand, of your true self, of your essence. That's the power that, and that essence of a human being can never be touched by archons or anybody. So this is why you went in and you explained really nicely, and that was great explanation of how this is not, this process cannot be forced on anybody, that it is gotta be real for each individual, because it is your protection.
Right. The thing with truth, though, at the same time, it needs to be shouted from the freaking rooftops.
Exactly.
It needs to be blasted in a way, through art, through music, through everything that inspires us to be the co-creative beings that we are, you know, the creative beings that we are. You know, all the gifts, skills, and talents that people have. It's like, what are you doing? You know, there's probably someone listening right now that, you know, it's like they go to work and they have this dream, they have this vision, this thing that they want to do, but they look at all the limitations and the obstacles, and they allow that to stop them from even making that first step. And if that's resonating with anybody, stop that shit and do what the fuck you are really feeling to do. And if it's to awaken, awaken. If it's to paint, paint. If it's to write a song, write a song. You know what I'm saying? But we're all unique. You know, I'm not into the hive mind. I'm not into that we're all one bullshit. I'm into the potential for that. But until we become one with ourselves and make that connection and make that journey within, so that it can, you know, manifest into your present existence with the relationship that you have with you. Because the relationship that you have with you is a direct reflection of the relationship that you have with Creator Source itself. And if you're in denial of the darkness and all that stuff, all the things that I'll say Creator Source is trying to bring you through and trying to show you who you really are, you're going to be in resistance forever until you make, you know, that step to, you know, go into it. And this is why I call my channel Black Earth Productions, because that is the very first stage of alchemy. It's the blackening. Those are the gates that you must enter into. You know what I'm saying? But I want people to know that there is much more beyond, you know, these gates that that we walk into, and, you know, experiencing the stages of albedo and rebedo, where things are solidified, and even eventually, you know, unlocking and deciphering the Philosopher's Stone. You know, one of the greatest secrets of mankind. You know, what is that? That's a whole other segment. With everything that's unfolding right now, it's going to be giving people the opportunity to be able to experience and to dive into things that they have not been able to for eons. Because like I said, the dark ones no longer hold jurisdiction, and they have to respect our kind. They have to respect what is unfolding now, because if they don't, well, they're going to reap the consequence of that. Just watch what happens to someone that comes at you or attacks you now. Watch what the fuck happens to them. It's nuts. I got people coming at me, you know, sending me all sorts of, you know, hate messages and fuck you, you know, and all this kind of stuff. I just sit back and watch what happens to these people. You want to know what happens to these people now, Lily? They drop off. They drop off and they're gone. I am extending the opportunity to allow truth to reconcile all of the fragmented aspects of everything. Or do we think that we've arrived? But things are definitely evolving now, and I just want to continue to put myself in the position to be corrected when I'm wrong, to be the eternal student. I do have master teacher disposition, okay? But so do other people. Some of us are graduates that did incarnate to assist the hour that we are in, so that those that are ready to make this transition I feel that is happening to be a part of that. But it's not the forced evolution like you're talking about. It's not this false light, you know, dictatorship that's tricking people into escapism and false ascension. You know, and watered down magic that does not actually do anything except get them keyed into the except
it's
get
disempowering right now, and all of that. It's
yeah.
it's like more of a mockery of wisdom and mockery of magic, of true magic that's
Right.
going on out there right now more than anything. But
Right.
you know what? It's like you said, if you want to step through that door, you got to step through it being fearless, because that you will need your fearlessness.
Yep.
Because once you walk through it, you don't know, and I agree with you. I don't know what we're gonna find on another side. You know, once eclipse was happening, I said, you know, there is going to be the other side. We'll see you on the other side, but what's on another side? You know, my feelings are there is a lot of darkness that we're going to still see. It's going to be revealed to us. We need to be ready for it. I feel it coming through.
Yep.
It's going to have to purge. The one thing that I want to say to everybody, and when I do say these things that are, you know, like last year, I talk about some of the things that will surface for revealing and things like that were horrible things going on. This is the same thing. I am not here to say that, oh, you know, it's all going to be good and we're going to walk through this door and then, oh, it's all life, you know, it's beautiful and it's roses and rainbows and all of that stuff. No. This is a path. The truth is deep, and some people have to dig through it to find the truth, because it's hidden under a lot of masks out there. And a lot of people in the spiritual community have all the sources of information, but a lot of the sources are manipulated for that very specific reason, so that people can get stuck in that process. But what we're saying, no matter how it is, how bad it can get, right? What we're saying, it is worth it if we, as human beings, would like to be on that evolutionary path, because there is no other path. And like I said, and I predicted this a while back, and I say, I don't like to call my insights predictions, because they're not. We create in this in the now moment. It's sort of a projections to, it's sort of, you know, kind of like, you know, taking a little measuring of energy and then saying, well, this is what's probable. And so what's probable is there's a lot more darkness that needs to be revealed. But that's going to be revealed through those that go through this process. It cannot be given to us by the manipulators themselves. That there is no amount of government insiders that will give us the truth about government manipulations.
Right. Well, that's the thing, though. They themselves don't even have the truth.
Exactly. So
why the fuck? Why are we going to these people?
Shirt from a shirtless man.
Right.
You can't.
Right. And again, this is what the wisdom councils in ancient times were for, so that these sorts of things would not manifest. You know, corrupt individuals, they would be ousted. They were not allowed. They were not allowed. There was no tolerance for it. You know, we need to love everybody. No, fuck that shit. You're gonna love evil when it's running a fucking lance through your chest? I don't think so. I have a very strong hatred for evil. And it's interesting because love and hate are synonymous, and this is another occult teaching. It's the difference between love and fear that needs to be addressed.
Yes.
I have very strong hatred for certain things, but it's because I have such love and passion for the truth itself that is constantly putting me in check, constantly putting me in the place of being corrected. Who the fuck do these people think they are? When the truth presents itself and then they just think they're not going to have to deal with the consequence of that, it's all going to come on them, Lily, whether they want it to or not. And so, yeah, I agree. There's going to be a lot more darkness that's going to unfold with certain individuals. But at the same time, running in trajectory is everything that is unfolding with our kind. You know, and I don't necessarily even want to be the leader of this. I just want to be present at the table, you know, and allow truth to do its thing through all of us, because it's going to confirm itself. It's going to, if someone is in alignment and they are speaking the truth, and then somebody else speaks, there's going to be, you know, things happening there. You know what I'm saying? And you can see the magic of it unfold even in this conversation right now. But we must know thyself, and we must remember, because I'm going to start speaking in my divine language, man, in a second. It's now. It's happening now. Everything. It's happening right now. Everything that the ancients knew, everything that the ancients warned us about, everything that the ancients, quote unquote, prophesied, it's happening right now. Exactly. Not because I want to be right in my own eyes, or I think this is what's going on. No, this is what truth is revealed, and this is what truth is revealing to those that are in alignment with it. Nature herself, the divine mother, is saying, wake the fuck up. It's time to grow the fuck up.
Not a minute later, like I said in my latest newsletter, not a minute later. Wake up, own your power, because like you said, it's now or never, because it is true. There's only now. At the choice that we make, at the source of our breath in the now moment, is the choice that makes us who we are.
Right.
Do I choose the highest being? Do I choose the power that is me, a source creator in human form? Free will, liberty itself, freedom of, am I that? Or who am I? You choose that at every point, at every breath. And that's what I'm saying. The power is yours to choose, and it's yours to own, right? And it's right now. There is no wait until tomorrow, or no wait until something passes. The thing is that now changes the future and changes the past.
Right. Because past, present, and future are happening all, you know, simultaneously. Getting into the tradition of my ancestors, they spoke about the Norns, who weaved the web of weird, weaving the fates of gods and men. Now, if you come into alignment with them, essentially from within yourself, then you can take control of the spindle of the energy force. And this is you know, getting into some deeper occult teaching that, you know, I present to my students when they're ready for it, because that's the thing. Until people have mastered their thought and emotion on a certain level, you go and try and do magic, you're gonna fuck yourself up, man. You go and try to, you know, do all this like left-wing brotherhood bullshit, calling upon other spirits for their power and their knowledge. You're missing the point of why you incarnated. They can't do what we can because we have a physical vessel, like I was talking about at the beginning of the segments. Where it goes from here will depend on the choices we do make, like you're talking about, because there is choice. There's a law of cause and effect, always at play, always at play, always at play. Always. You cannot get away from it. You cannot get away from the sacred law. If you don't know the laws, then you're not going to know why things unfold the way that they do in your life. But once you do, you can, man, I can see it, Lily. I can see it. Certain things happen. It's like, oh, this is what's coming next. You know what I'm saying? And sure as shit, It happens every single time because I've taken the time to pull back from everything and go into this process myself. Everything that I'm talking about, I've been in study and been walking for years now, you know, for over 20 years on this path, you know, and just in this life, but even before getting into the ancestors, taking it back, you know, to some of the things that I've, you know, gotten into on Black Earth Productions. But it's not the end all to be all, because like you said, all we have is the present moment. And one thing I want people to realize, one thing I want people to recognize, again, like I was saying, look at how far we have come. Look at your own life and see how far you have come from where you were even a month ago, a year ago, 5 years ago. Look how much you have healed. Look how much you have progressed. Because that's the other thing. It's like the temptation to give up right now is very strong. The temptation to say it's all bullshit, like nothing's gonna get better. Look at what's happening on the planet. Nature's getting fucking pissed. We're about to get, you know, our asses handed to us. Don't give up. Don't cave in, because we are right on the cusp of that transition now, going into 2018 and then going into 2025. Okay, it's happening. We got our timeline, Lily. We got it. Yeah. We got it.
If anything, if there was a year that was like passing through the eye,
yeah,
I think 2017 is it.
Right. And we got it on the day of the eclipse. That was the breaking point. That was the final fucking. What does Rahu represent? Rahu represents all of the desires that you have that you don't have the balls to fulfill. That you know, even all the sick and gross desires, the evil desires, you know, murderous thoughts that we get sometimes. All of that is Rahu. That's the direction you got to go. You got to go into that, and you got to face that snake head on, man. You got to face that snake head on, and you say, okay, you know what? Swallow me, bitch. Watch what happens.
Yeah.
Because if it goes to swallow Rakan now, go ahead and swallow me. Because if you do, I'm going to rip open a hole from within you and spill your fucking guts onto the ground.
Yes, and once
you know, and there's a saying, there's a beautiful saying, it's an old samurai teaching. It's better to be a warrior in a garden. And so cultivate that warrior spirit, cultivate that warrior essence. You know, and there's no difference with it, especially when it comes to my ancestors. They were the ones on the front lines doing the shield wall saying, fuck you. I'm not going to take that shit. You know what I'm saying? So the women and the men, you know, they fought together side by side. And that's what's needed now, not men and women fighting one another. You know, especially among the spiritual community, man.
Us in so prevalently is this friction, this competition that we go with each other and we fight one another when we know who our enemy is. And the thing is, this is what you said, the power and the warrior spirit then stands living, and then you don't say, you know, anybody and anything that's aiding and abetting this enemy then is standing right there in your face. And so there is no point unto where you say, oh, well, I don't know how bad you aiding and abetting enemy of human consciousness. When you are siding with that enemy, then you should be questioning yourself. You shouldn't be anywhere out there trying to help humanity, because the only way right now.
Thank you. That needs to be said, what you just said. Go ahead.
We got to help ourselves to stand in this warrior spirit.
Yes.
Because there is no other way. There is no other way to go through this, as I call it. We're walking through the valley of death right now.
Right. You put it quite well the other day. Yes.
This is a death cult. We are standing against something. It's not even against. We're standing in the face of this enemy that is the death call. And then once we stand fearless and fearless of death, this is what gives us power. And so whatever we need to do to empower ourselves to stand fearless,
Yes.
because the enemy is known now.
Mm-hmm.
So we stand not united as one, but we stand in collaboration with each other, because we know exactly who we are and we know who the enemy is. There is no question here amongst friends. You know, kind of like what I say, you know, I can never say, oh, well, I've been deceived by this person or that person. I know myself, and so I know every time where I am, if I'm amongst my friends or if I'm amongst my enemies,
Right.
you know. But I always do know, because in the now, driven by spirit, trusting my intuition, because that's the only thing I can count on, is I can count on my own self.
Right.
It's been the case for me for most of my life. That's how I've been working, and that's how I've been going through my spiritual path. And I think this is why I am speaking with people like you, because that's been our path.
Right.
Is this know the self.
Mm-hmm. And it's going to continue to expand. And I feel everything that's unfolding is happening for the very reason that we are saying. So
as long as we keep our goal and focus on expanding the human consciousness, I think, you know, that's
right.
That's, you know, being here for this process for me personally is incredible. I consider myself privileged to be incarnated here in this time, on this plane of existence, because of what's happening, because of the changes that are possible, the changes that are possible for humanity, and to be part of those changes is an incredible experience. So, you know, no matter how tough this can get sometimes, this path can get tough, it can get lonely, and sometimes I know myself, I can just go in and I just do it on my own. I'm a sort of a lone agent working for Earth Agency here, you know, investigating crime.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's another thing. That's another thing too I'd like to address real quick before we come to the end, I think.
Yeah,
here is that the path of initiation will put you in a place of being stripped, like we've shared, but it's the purpose that I discovered for with myself is so that I could learn to remember again. Because when I was out there doing all this stuff, and I did music for a very long time, you know, I was a death metal vocalist, you know, bringing a lot of these concepts to the forefront at the time that were ironically too controversial for some people in the fucking death metal and hardcore scene. Like they couldn't take this level of brutal truth in that subculture. So I had to break away and do everything. And it took everything, man. This path has cost me everything. Literally cost me everything. And that's what people don't understand. They think that it's going to be handed to them on a silver platter, you know, because they, you know, listened to a segment or read an article like we were talking about. No, you will be thoroughly tested by the higher force itself. I'm held accountable. I feel that you are held accountable, Lily. And I'd like to take the opportunity right now. And if anybody wants to get a hold of me, you can send me an email at blackearthproductions@hotmail.com. You can check out the YouTube channel, Black Earth Productions. Just type in Black Earth Productions on YouTube. It should come up. Also, the website at Black Earth Productions with a Z at the end.com. Check out the services page. I've literally created a school for people to come into the process of initiation into the higher occult sciences and everything that we're talking about. Of course, though, it's very tailored to the individual, and it is unlike anything that I see going on right now, but it's definitely expanding and growing. And I would like more people, you know, to be involved with it, you know, with the inner circle and everything that's unfolding. And I honestly, Lily, I would actually extend that to you, you know, from a neutral, you know, point of view. It's not up to me, I'll say. None of this is up to me. I'm just doing what I feel I need to with all of this, and then I, of course, I'm deferring, constantly deferring things over to the higher force. You know, not some, you know, way where I'm necessarily dismissing, you know, anything that else that anybody is doing out there, because it's all necessary. What you're doing is necessary. What other people are doing is necessary, along with what I'm talking about. But getting into the expansion of everything, what are we actually capable of co-creating with one another when things get to the place where I feel both you and I are sensing with everything.
Yes, because taking it to a next level, it will require of this cooperation, co-creation, sort of collaboration energy on our part, and a lot of spiritual maturity. To take it to the next level, it does require that spiritual maturity, because this is not a kindergarten stuff anymore.
Fuck no. This is cosmic PhD. You know, yeah. People want that opportunity. It's being presented now. And that's the thing. This isn't just going out to humanity. This is going out to every race and faction in the fucking universe and beyond. Because this is the trajectory that the higher force has set things on, as far as what's been revealed to me. Real quick, you feel like we're coming to, you know,
yeah, I think we
before we end this, could you share how people could get a hold of you with my audience if they want to get a hold of you, your information and everything?
Okay. Well, at this point right now, you can find me on Facebook under Lily Kolosova. I also have a Facebook group called Wild Wisdom Warriors, where I do post all the updates and my newsletters and all my creative work and my own videos that I do there. I am stepping into a few new projects, so I'll be posting all the information on that in that group. And of course, I have my own YouTube channel. It's Lily Kolosova, Lily, and Kolosova, Kolosova. So thank you so much.
Awesome.
For having me on.
Thank you for having me on. That's
yeah, we had a creative show here.
Yeah.
This has been great, and you know, we've been planning on talking for a while, and your work, you mentioned your work, and it's really deep, and I wanted to all my listeners to recommend all your work, because it's a really deep and helpful.
Thank you.
You put a lot of heart into it, and
thank you.
And it really, you can feel it. So I thank you for having that available for people, because
more is coming. More is definitely coming. Yeah.
Your work is a gem. There is very few gems out there online.
Thank you.
So I thank you, and this is why I would love to have you back again. I'm going to be doing more productions with LifeBLOOD. Where it's going to take me, I don't know, but I'm definitely going to be talking to more people, and I'm just
awesome,
incredibly appreciative of you know, your willingness to have this conversation with me, for your sharing of the energy and the knowledge, and on how to empower, and how to each and every one of us can empower ourselves, because I think this is the biggest key that we can offer to other human beings, to our fellow beings, is that the key to empowerment And Sethikus, you shared a lot of your ways of getting there, and I've shared a lot of my own ways of getting there, and it's a process. We're still working on it and trying to have a beautiful, amazing, transformative life at the same time, and enjoy our own human expression and other humanities' expression of true expression of who we are, the powerful human beings, the creator beings that we are. So I appreciate your time with me today, Sethikus.
Thank you.
I hope we will do this again soon, okay?
Yes, sounds good. Okay.
All right.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye.